Welcome to Footy Centre Podcast Series. Welcome to Footy Centre Podcast Series.
It's another episode, but it is the first of the Premier League weekend. It is back again, and this is the FC Pitchside Podcast. We are here to dissect every bit of the conversations around the start of the English Premier League, this start of the season. My name is Thierry, and I'll be your host, and I'm here with Philip Sicho Atrim. Jonathan Mensah could not join us because of some family emergency that he has, and so we'll spare him the time off. But Sicho, you're welcome. And how are you?
Hey, thank you. I'm good. Of course, football starts this weekend, so why not? Plenty to have looked forward to, plenty to watch, plenty of fun, and so I've been good.
Yeah, plenty of fun, but I'm not sure you had a lot of fun today. We'll come to Manchester United, but let's start with the Ghanaian players in the Premier League, because it's been an exhilarating start to the season, especially for Mohamed Kudus and Antoine Semenyo. I'll start with Semenyo, and that is where Liverpool and Bournemouth kicked off the season for the entire Premier League football on Friday, as it happened. And when everyone was thinking of Hugo Ekitike or Mohamed Salah or Florian Wirtz, it was Antoine Semenyo who actually stole, the glory at Anfield on a night that was supposed to be a very, very sad, one for Liverpool, especially because they were honoring and commemorating Diogo Jota. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But Antoine Semenyo, what a player. Sicho, what a player. The two goals, especially the second one, what a goal.
Yeah.
I saw that goal, and I thought to myself that if any global superstar, Yamal, Dembele, even when Messi was playing at top level European football, if any of those guys scored any of those goals, the whole world would have been clapping.
Yeah, it was a brilliant goal. Especially the second one. If the first one was also a very good goal, but of course the second one will catch the eye because it was a solo effort. Antoine Semenyo, he's since coming to the Premier League, he's constantly improved his game. He's become a very reliable player for Bournemouth. To be honest, I think we need to give some credit to Bournemouth for being able to keep him. It didn't look like he was going to stay with them coming into this season on the back of the season he had last time. But they've managed to improve his contract and keep him at the club, having already lost some very key players in the side. Then on match day one in the Premier League at Anfield against defending champions, when his team is losing at 2-0, he's the one who's dragging his team right back into it. Makes a very good one to score the first goal, to make it 2-1. And then his second goal, wow.
Yeah.
That is just
Yeah.
a powerful, he was on Liverpool's radar. And I wonder
Yeah.
if Arne Slot and the Liverpool bosses...
Before he signed his new contract, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Arne Slot and Liverpool bosses will be looking at that goal and be thinking, should we just have done a little more to bring him to Anfield? Because that was a very powerful run. Took the ball steadily, waiting for the right moment. And, once Ivan Olsen made the run for him, Van Dijk and Kudus were all over the place, was confident enough to shift the ball to his left, and in the end, fire the ball into the back of the net. So, yeah, it was a very, very good goal from the Ghanaian man, Antoine Semenyo. But all of that was, if you like, marred by the racial abuse that he suffered, but very good that the authorities in the stadium dealt with it in the measure in which they did. Yeah,
and they dealt with it really swiftly, and I like that. I like the response, from the stadium officers, and just how they were able to fish out the person. And he was a man in a wheelchair who was just shouting a lot of racial abuse at Antoine Semenyo. He was really, really silly. And I still do not know. And the sad thing, I follow Antoine Semenyo on Instagram, and I saw on his stories, just even when he had posted about racism, someone commented with monkey emojis. And he reposted that and asked, when is this going to stop? Because he was happy at the end of the day how the world of football came around after he reported the issue, several influential people in the sport spoke against it, and he thought, okay, I mean, there's going to be some, not solution, but headway to this. And then even in his comments, that people are still being very, very foolish, and it just tells you it's going to take a long time for this to be eradicated. We've seen in Spain some players even cry when some of these racial abuse and slurs are, shouted at them. So just hopefully we're able to find a solution to this. But he's been arrested, according to reports from England. The man who was shouting the racism at Semenyo. But of course, we are going to be focusing on the positive side and just how
Absolutely.
important this is for Semenyo, especially with how he should be one of the first names on the Ghana team sheets,
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
especially with
And
the World Cup coming up. Yeah.
yeah, with the World Cup qualifiers looming. To be fair to Anton Semenyo, the last time the boys met in the Black Stars camp, he was a key player to Otoado's side. He opened the scoring when
Yeah.
Ghana played at home, and of course, Semenyo had always looked like he struggled in the Black Stars because he at that time hadn't necessarily defined his role. We didn't know if he was a second
Mhm.
striker or a centre forward or a wide player. But he's consistently been a wide player for Bournemouth last season, coming into this
Right.
season as well. And the last time he played for the Black Stars, he played in the wide area where he did well. So maybe now we've settled on the fact that Antoine Semenyo could be a trusted, wide, powerful forward who can get the freedom to run across the front three and cause the havoc that
Right.
we saw him cause when he plays for his club Bournemouth.
What a combination that is going to be with Mohamed Kudus on the other side of the flank.
Ah,
That is, if we are going to use Mohamed Kudus on the other side, because we know Otuado likes to play him more centrally and focus on more natural wingers on the right side. Spearheaded sometimes by Iñaki Williams or whoever it's going to be. But what a combination that is going to be, Mohamed Kudus and Semenyo. And now let's talk about Kudus, because in preseason, Thomas Frank had already said that Kudus was working hard. He was definitely going to be a very, very big and influential player, important part of his team this season. And in the first game, Kudus showed it. And it wasn't just the flashes of brilliance, my God, those flashes, but it was also how he contributed in attack with those two assists, to Richarlison. Sijo.
yeah. I mean, everybody who's followed me on social media or all the other shows maybe that I've done knows my position on Mohamed Kudus. I've never really seen him as um, a number 10 or a central midfielder. I've always looked at Mohamed Kudus as a wide forward player or a false nine, a player in and around the box or in the wide area. I think that is where he's most effective. So I'm not very surprised that he's been able to chuck the numbers that he's chucked, and especially when he's playing those wide areas. When you compare his numbers in the wide areas with his numbers as a number 10, I think that it's not comparable. It's in the wide
Right.
areas that I think that he excels a lot more. And then now in this game, Thomas Frank plays him in the right in the wide area, and he excels.
Mhm.
For me, one thing Kudus needs to do now then is the consistency to his end product. If he's able to create a lot more chances, assist his strikers a lot more, finish off the chances, then we know that there's no doubt about his talent. What we've not seen a lot of is consistently delivering on his talent. And if he can do that now at Spurs, it's only a matter of time before another very big club comes calling for his very talented frame and figure in who he is. So yeah, great start to life at his new club. The fans are loving him. His players, his colleagues are trusting him. And the more that continues, the better it is for Black Stars.
And you could tell even in his post-match, presser, the confidence was just oozing out of him. The presenter asked him if he feels the energy from the crowd, and he says, "Well, that's his game. That's his natural game. Everything he does is for the crowd, and so he's always excited when he sees people
Richarlison
basically."
says he thinks Kudus is a Brazilian because he's got so much South African stuff.
Exactly, and again, I think that's a big compliment.
Yeah,
Not because Richarlison is Danielson or he's Rivaldo, but
yeah,
Richarlison has seen very, very good, skillful players in his time as a footballer, and so that is high praise for Kudus, and I don't disregard that at all. I remember
yeah.
sometime 2021, 2022, when I was following the Black Stars. I think there was this time I was the only journalist with the Black Stars in South Africa and in Zimbabwe, and it was a time when Kudus was just now landing in Ajax, and people were not exactly familiar with his game. Um, I remember coming back home and saying he's definitely going to be our biggest star for a very long time. And it was because you could tell, even though it was an empty stadium, from the small section that I sat, anytime he got the ball, everybody just got up. It's that kind of talent that he has, that it's what every team needs, and he's that talent, he's that Midas touch that adds to a team. And I'm not surprised that West Ham United were on the suffering end of a bad defeat, because players like Kudus definitely elevate a team. And last
Yeah.
season they were very dire. They lost a lot even with him in there. But Spurs are going to be a big. And now let's talk about Spurs just a little bit before we go into today's games. Spurs are definitely going to be a force to reckon with, right?
Yeah, I think they are. They've made some very smart signings. And if Richarlison is going to be fit, it's going to be a big boost for them. And even if he's not necessarily always available, they've got Dominic Solanke as well, who had a very good outing for them last season. Brennan
Hmm.
Johnston can score a lot of goals. We know Mohamed Kudus is great in attack. But one thing I like about them is the options they've got in the middle of the park now. They've signed Joao Palhinha on loan from Bayern Munich, a Premier League experienced player. They've got Ben Takor, they've got Pape Metasa, Beckval is there, Gray is there. And if Bisuma's disciplinary issues is cleared and his head is in the game, Bisuma is a very good option as well. So it looks like they are stuck in they are parked in the middle of the park. And if they can keep Romero and at the back, the back line very fit. Odogi is returning. Poro is important. Then it can be an exciting team. The one thing is the difference between what Ange Postecoglou was offering them and what Thomas Franco offered them is that the discipline when they are off the ball. And straight away you can see
Yeah,
without the ball, they're a
yeah,
lot more compact. Without the ball, they're no more
yeah,
closed. You can easily get in behind them or through them. And they've got goals in them. So the moment they find a way to keep teams locked out of their own half, then it can be a really big force to reckon with Spurs.
yeah. I saw flashes of the Pochettino Spurs in
That's right.
yesterday's
That's right. Yeah.
Tottenham. Very, very
Traditional
compact, very
Spurs.
fluid at the same time. Yes.
Harry
But let's see
Redknapp,
how.
Pochettino,
Uh,
Martinho. Yeah, that kind of Spurs.
yeah, I think Harry Redknapp had started the work, and
Yeah.
then Pochettino took it to a different level.
Yeah.
So if they're able to keep the fluidity and of course the compact, the compact style that they've developed off the ball, then I'm pretty sure they definitely would go leaps and bounds than last
Oh,
season.
wait, let
Now
me ask you.
talking about
Let me
going
ask you. Let me ask you this. Do you think
right,
Otoado will be? Do you think Otoado will? Okay, so we've looked at how Kudus has started with Spurs. We're looking at
yeah,
how influential it could be in the Black Stars. Have you seen how
mhm,
Thomas Frank is using him, or how was he used at
yeah.
West Ham in the last 2 years? Do you think Otoado in the Black Star plays him behind the striker, or he now thinks that
I,
maybe?
yeah, I still think Otuado plays him behind the striker, and the reason is the Black Stars has some decent right wingers,
Yeah,
and I mean you're looking at Isahaku if he's back fed. You're looking at
Mustafa Bonsuba,
Bonsu. You're looking at the guy in the league,
Niama.
Nyama, Ernest Nyama. Um, Even Jordan Ayew can play on the right. Remember, and so if he really wants to continue and persist with Iñaki Williams in attack, I mean as a striker, then what that is going to mean is he is not going to play Jordan behind the striker. He's not going to play Ernest Nyama behind the striker. Mohamed Kudus becomes the natural choice, and that is where I feel we will struggle a bit because I feel we are very dense in the middle, right? We have quite a number of options in the middle. If we are able to strengthen our flanks, and Kudus has, if he brings the same attributes to the national team, it will help us. The way he tracks back, for his clubs. That means that we are going to be extremely energetic and we'll have a lot of firepower and the skill on the wings. But unfortunately, I think Otuado has a different idea for how he wants to see Kudus. And also, I think I have about a 30 minutes interview with Otuado, and at the time he was the assistant to Milovan. And when I anytime I play back that interview, what I think about that is how he actually considers Mohamed Kudus. He sees Mohamed Kudus as the guy who is supposed to be in the center and pull the strings. And when he was speaking to me, he said he had a boss, which is Milo, and he wasn't the one to advise Milo. He's there to support Milo. But immediately he just told me what the idea was. And the idea was to play him centrally. The only time he played during the World Cup when he sometimes shifted Kudus to the right was because he had Andre Ayew. That could also naturally, switch with Mohamed Kudus. But now you don't really have that kind of player. He's not ready to risk Thomas Partey at field. Partey has to be the roaming number 8. And so that, I feel, becomes how he goes tactically, unless something changes drastically between now and the next World Cup. But I think Kudus still plays centrally.
Kudus plays behind the striker. All right, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's move on straight from there. Let's look at Manchester United and Arsenal. We'll talk about the other big sides, but let's look at Manchester United versus Arsenal because we needed to get the Ghanaian boys out of the way, and then take a look at the biggest game of the weekend, which is Arsenal traveling to Old Trafford to face Man United. In the end, it was Calafiori's goal in the first half that separated the two teams, and Calafiori wasn't. I mean, I don't think it was so much about Calafiori being, a good goal scorer or it being any well taken goal. It was an error from the Manchester United goalkeeper, and that is my first talking point. Man United, for everything they're fixing, goalkeeping seems to be another problem that needs to be looked at. Sicho.
Yeah, I think goalkeeping is a big problem. Even with Onana, if Onana is in post, it's still not great. Yeah,
right.
it's still not great, even if Onana is in post. Not too many people trust Onana when it's in the post. And then there's behind there his second option where people don't trust him. I thought, apart from the goal that he conceded, Arsenal didn't really ask a lot of questions from the goalkeeper or about the goalkeeper. But the one moment that he had to be strong and decisive and command this area, he failed at it. I've seen some Man United fans call that for a foul. And I just think that is too soft. That is too.
I don't think. I don't think. I think it was soft. I don't think that was a foul.
Yeah. I mean, as a goalkeeper, when you're in that 6-yard box of yours, you just have to come out strong, big fist and punch it. And in the second half, Raya did show him how to do that. Because Bruno Fernandes swung one free kick in, and Raya through the crowd was strong enough, came out and fisted the ball with some fierce. That's what you expect of a goalkeeper. But he let his team down there, and I think it was a cheap goal to concede, easy one for Calafiori in the end to get his head on and score the goal. And so I think it's down to a goalkeeping error. But ultimately, everything around else on the team will be a lot of positive the coach and the players can pick from.
Well, I like that. But that would not be all because Man United seem to have changed a lot. Up front, Cunha today started an attack supported by Mbumo. I always call him Mbuemo, but I heard him mention his own name, and he called it Mbumo. So Mbumo, and supported also on the other side by Mason Mount. Did that decision surprise you a bit?
No, it didn't really surprise me, considering I knew. I mean, before the game, I heard that Rasmus Højlund wasn't going to be part of the game. Of course, I'm thinking.
Why though? Let's talk about him because he's ready to still be fight for his place. He hasn't said that he wants to leave. So why has he been frozen out?
No. The club is preparing to let him go. And one of the things the club doesn't want to do is to play him in a game where he can pick an injury and all of a sudden it's not going to go. But I think the club's mind is made up on where he's going to be this season. Right. It's surely not going to be at Manchester United. So they want to move on from him. And so Mason Mount came in as a false line kind of. Benjamin Sesko wasn't ready to start. Joshua Zexi hasn't been fit enough. He's not ready to start. So I could understand how the starting 11 was shaping up. To be fair to Ruben Amorim, this is one of his best games that I've seen his team play since he took the job. In the end, it wasn't a win for him, but like I said, he can pick a lot of positives from this one. In attack, they looked very dangerous. And Arsenal, whose defense are some of the best in the league, still struggle to cope with some of the firepower Man United threw at them. Cunha with his powerful runs with the ball, Mbemo stretching the back line, and causing all the problems for that Arsenal team. So I think the attack looked good. It looked like if they can build on this, the Man United could very much be in the reckoning for the top 6, top 4, because they have no distraction of midweek European football. They can only focus on Premier League football, and it is one game every week. You have a lot of contact time with the players, and if this continues, maybe then who's to say they cannot move from 15th to 6th or maybe challenge for the top 4.
Right. Wait, but on a side note though, this is on a very light note. Man United have returned to 15th on the league table. Just so. Uh,
Factory settings.
so, but I obviously I know that Man United will be way better than they were. And there are lots of positives to pick. I mean, you're a Man United fan. What sorts of positives did you pick from this particular game, especially judging by the standards that were set last season?
Well, the standards from last season were so low. Anything else you do this season was surely top set. But I think in this game, you saw a Man United team that were really ready to close down, press the opponent. And whenever the opponent had the ball, they didn't give them breathing space. It wasn't as if maybe it's high pressing where they're keeping the opponents in their half, but they were aggressive in recovering the ball from their opponents. And again, we also saw the flexibility with movement in the front three. Last season, the club was a little bit very predictable. Because when you've got Garnacho on one side and you've got maybe Ahmad on the other side, you just knew these players were there throughout the whole game. Or with Cunha, when Mason Mount, and at times in Bournemouth, and Bruno Fernandes running it into the box, it was at times difficult to predict their movement. So I thought it was very well read. And also like what he did with his fullbacks, because Dogu and then Dalo in the first half were very high up the pitch, which also meant that the two wide number 10s could play in the half space and cause the problem that it could cause. They didn't necessarily have to go and hang the lines. And we saw also players come off the bench to make reasonable contributions to the team. And that is important. When a manager makes a change, you expect that change to affect the team positively. Last season, we didn't have a lot of that. In this game, at least, some of the changes he made affected the team positively. So yeah, that is somewhat squad in depth, and that is somewhat quality on the bench.
I like that. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be discussing Manchester City and the fortunes of Chelsea going into this particular season, judging by what we've seen on match day one. We'll be right back. This is FC Pitchside Podcast.
This is the FC Pitchside Podcast, the first in an exciting lineup of podcasts by Footy Centre. Footy Centre is where you'd read your intriguing opinions and daily stories about football. From Europe's biggest leagues, the Champions League, international matches, and for Ghanaian fans, get closer to your favorite national teams.
All right, so you're welcome back to FC Pitchside Podcast with me, Theory, and I'm here with Sichua Trim. But we've been joined by Ajo on Twitter streets, Ajo on the Instagram timeline. Ajo has joined us. I'm not sure if it's a happy Ajo or if it's a sad Ajo, but his Chelsea side drew against Crystal Palace. The same stubborn Crystal Palace that stopped Liverpool from winning the Community Shield and stopped Man City from winning the FA Cup. But that would be Chelsea's biggest defense. I'm not sure what sort of hope Ajo has going forward. But first, welcome, Ajo, to FC Pitchside Podcast.
Yeah, it's a world champion, Ajo, though.
World champion, Ajo. Remind them. Tell them. World champion, Ajo. What an intro. Anyway, so Chelsea started their Premier League campaign with a draw. Exciting, actually, to have you here. Exciting. So hopefully this is the first of many. But let's look at what happened at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea drawing 0-0 with Crystal Palace and not even able to score a goal despite the number of attacking players and talents they have. Rather, it was the defense that everybody was, a bit doubtful about that kept a clean sheet. Ajo, first take on Chelsea.
A surprising result from the Blues at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, we were expecting a champion to struggle today, but in the CCB position, but he didn't. I think the big boys didn't show up.
Right.
Especially Enzo Fernandez, who looks like he's still on holidays. It was very, very, very bad from him. But you see, Maresca is still fuming. He's angry. He's asking for a central centre back because of today. If you watch today's game, Caicedo is the only one I can give an excuse for. Why? Because if Kowal is around, Caicedo has the liberty to operate
Hmm.
as a box to box, as a passer from behind, and also express himself like openly in the midfield. But because it was
Right.
a young guy in
Right.
Champions, he had to revert back to having a defensive mind and sit back and help the guys more. This is where Enzo Fernandez had to come in and help more. But he was so like at this kind of the day, he was so dull, like he's still on holidays. Palmer couldn't find spaces, but you have to pick up Oliver Glasner for how
Truth is, I didn't see Enzo until he was substituted.
it was that bad. I think Enzo, Neto,
Yeah.
Palmer, they didn't show up today at all. And we can credit the
Yeah.
Crystal Palace coach for that. This guy is very, very good. I was saying on Twitter that if his release clause is 25 million, they will make it 50 million very soon, and the big boys will come for him very soon because he's a proper coach. He has a plan. He's prone to details because I keep
Who is
asking
that?
myself, Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace coach. I keep asking myself,
Oh,
how
Oliver. Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
How can you stop Chelsea? He didn't only stop the Chelsea midfield, he also limited the inversion of Cucurella today using his fullbacks. So he can stop. He has stopped Liverpool. He has stopped City, and he came to draw again with
Yeah.
Chelsea. Back to
Yeah.
back to back draws. So he's a very, very, very good coach. He didn't let Palmer have those spaces.
Man City. Yeah.
Yes, he didn't let Palmer have those spaces that Palmer will have normally in games to enjoy. That's why I was expecting Maresca to instruct Palmer to come deep and take the ball. Now with Palmer, I'm confused. I think sometimes he wants to respect the coach and listen to instructions. But when he wants to be free and play Palmer football too, he's scared because if you go against the coach's plan, maybe the coach will
You are
plan.
confused. Why are
Yeah.
you confused about
The
Kopama?
clear example is the Chelsea versus Betis game. When Palmer took the game by himself and just won as the game, he didn't listen to the coach anymore. So sometimes when the goings get tough, I don't know if Palmer will forget about Maresca and play his natural football. Because if you want to stop Chelsea, you have to stop Cucurella
Right.
or Malo Gusto. Today, they were guiding the boy, and that's a champion. They guided him to play so well. They didn't play so well at all. So it was very bad. I think our big boys Enzo, Palmer, Neto, they didn't come to the party. But I like what I saw from Esteval, and Neto should be very, 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 very careful because that boy, his confidence is crazy. He wants to show Chelsea fans what he can do on the right wing. So I feel next game against West Ham,
Right.
he can start on the right wing. Maybe Gittins is not too ready. Gittins finishing is a little bit questionable. He doesn't track back too early. He's stressing Cucurella so early in the season. But they are all most of them. He's a new signing, so we can give him time. So I mean, credit to Oliver Glasner and his Crystal
Your
Palace side.
network is very,
It's
very,
breaking.
very terrible.
Okay, but you can hear me now.
Okay, I'll go to Sicho.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
I can still hear you, but it's very, very
all
sketchy.
right. Let
It's
me.
breaking. Sicho, when you look at Chelsea and
Yeah.
and their struggles today, what do you make of this team going into the season? Do you think they have enough quality to retain their spot in the top four? You already predicted Chelsea will not make the top four anyway, so it might be a silly question, but defend it, or maybe you can confirm your stance after today's result.
No, listen, take it easy on Chelsea. They've not necessarily had the best of pre-seasons. They only
At all,
played some
yeah.
two games at Stamford Bridge, largely because
Two
of
games
the
in 3 games, yeah, in three
Club
days.
World
Sorry,
Cup. Yeah,
yeah,
so you're expecting a slow start to the season for Chelsea. They've also had a massive injury to Levi Cole at the back, a player who seems to have been coming out as a leader for them at the back, very important and very reliable for them. So it's going to take some adjusting. Enzo Fernandez has barely rested since he burst onto the scene, because since he burst onto the scene in the World Cup, then he came to Chelsea. He went to play the Copa America. He went, and all these
yeah,
competitions I'm talking about, he's gone into the final. So World
yeah.
Cup
Into the
final,
finals, yeah,
Copa America
yeah.
final, Club World Cup
Club
final.
World Cup final, yeah,
Obviously, it's going to have a toll on you at some point. So I'm not surprised he had a slow start to the season, but it's going to come good. Cole Palmer didn't have a good game today, but that is not because Cole Palmer is not a good player. It's only simply because things didn't go his way today. Can see the way Crystal Palace played. So Joao Pedro struggled to find chances or find spaces. So it's more credit to Crystal Palace, and it's also down to Chelsea's, lack of proper preparing or readiness for the start of the season. I mean, averagely, a team would have 4 to 5 preseason games to be ready for the
right,
season. Chelsea has had
right.
way less than that. So you expect them to slowly start the season. But their quality and their talent is not in doubt. As the season progresses, we'll learn more about this Enzo Maresca squad. But I'm not going to use this first game to judge them. Far from that.
Okay, let's talk about Man City then, because everyone is expecting them to come back stronger. And so when you look at how Pep, sort of is like rebuilding the squad, out with the old, in with the new, and it's a lot of new players in there. Two of them were very instrumental. That's Rancheki and Tijani Reinders, who were very, very, very good on the day, especially Reinders. Um, Haaland not really a part of the build up for Man City. In the end, he was able to get 2 goals, 4-0 against Wolves away at the Molino. That is obviously a big result for Man City if they're looking to recover from last season's problems.
Yeah, I think it is. Again, they played against a very, very terrible team in Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've not necessarily
Mhm.
signed players that you're going to pop your eye and be like, ooh, something interesting is going on there. I mean, the one player they've signed that interests me a lot is John Arias, who's coming. He came on from the bench. He's very skillful. He can cause problem. But the general outlook of Wolverhampton Wanderers is not great. They've lost Matheus
Right,
Cunha, and they've not necessarily
right.
replaced what he brings to the team. So City came up against a weak side. But then we can focus on what City did when they had the ball, right? And I like what Tijani. I love Tijani Reinders. I've seen him play in Serie A for AC Milan for a couple of
Hmm.
seasons now. And what he did in the game against City didn't surprise me. He's a box crashing midfielder, box to box, works hard in his own half, and causes problem for the opponents in the other end of the pitch. He's got an eye for pass, and he's always breaking his neck to make the run into a space. So you saw the goal he scored. He's making it. Oscar Bob picks up the ball. He ran past Oscar Bob into space. Ball comes to him. Sweet left foot. It's a finish. Then the goal that he held, Luis creates for Erling Haaland. Again, gets past a couple of players, dinks the ball over him. He's just that kind of player who, on the ball, sees a lot of things happen at the same time. He's physically imposing as well. So if he can continue to play the way he played yesterday for City, then he's a I'm not going to say it's a Kevin De Bruyne replacement. No, far from that. But he's a very useful tool for Man City.
Yeah.
And of course, we know Ryan Cherky as well. In and around the box is dangerous. It's got a trace. It's got a little flex in and around the corner. And so we'll see how that one plays out. But like I said, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers. I don't really want to read so much into it because I think City have still got issues with that ball getting in behind their back line, with that ball going through the line. And with City's, if you like, how long it takes for them to close down on opponents and win the ball. And so if they come up against a more confident, a more talented team, then we would see how many chances City can avoid or how many chances will be created against them. But yeah, perfect start for Pep Guardiola in Spain.
Ajo, were you
Yeah,
impressed by Man City, and do you think that they would pose a bigger threat than they did last season? Especially because your Chelsea is trying to get into the top three now, not top four, but top three,
yeah.
possibly even top two. Is it possible when you look at the performance of the teams around them, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City? Do you
Well,
think this is
the
possible?
City fans are angry at most of us saying that we are not tipping them to win the league. But if you
Right,
want to win the league, we look at what in every big team in England, you have this dualship that helps you. You've lost Kevin De Bruyne. You can't replace Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe
right,
the profile that could have replaced him is Palmer, but you've
hmm,
sold him to Chelsea. And
right,
I have a problem with City's wingers. If you look at the story of Pep Guardiola, he doesn't really work with wingers. Maybe strikers that would strike from the wing for him, but Doku does not give Pep numbers at all. This is third season, and we don't get numbers from Doku. The Oscar Bob guy is decent, but can he run the marathon? That is why whether you sell Savino or not, you still need to go in for this Rodrigo guy. And I'm
mm,
sure he's keen on telling the board that they need that profile Rodrigo. Even if he won't give you 20 G in a season, he's there for the big games in the UCL
right.
and the big games in the EPL. So the style he wants to play this season. Now you have Gavadio who can play as a left back, can overlap for you, can also invert for you. You have Atinori who is attacking minded fullback. And
But I mean, when you play Guardiola, it means and Nori. When you play Guardiola at fullback and Nori does not play. If you play Guardiola at centre back, it means that Nori is an overlapping fullback.
yeah, so he also, just like Liverpool, he also has attacking minded fullbacks now because Nuri is typically attacking minded. And there's no defensive block that helps because this Danny Rangers guy is a super box crusher like Chicho mentioned. So the work will be on Nico Gonzalez right now to do the defensive duties for them in the midfield. because you don't have Rodri again. Rodri give them that tempo and composure that even if he's not defending, he's keeping the ball for them.
Right.
That's my little worry with Man City, that their wingers will not be productive. Doku and Oscar Bob, and what will be the position of the plan of Foden now? Where is he going to play? Or I said I want like 20 GA from him this season. Is he going to play as a number 10, as a right winger? This is the time we need to see a defining position for players like Foden.
I think I don't know. I don't know what Sicho thinks about Foden though, but I think his best time at City is over. To be honest with you, I think he still has a part to play in the City team. But the reason I say this is because they've spent money on Cherky, and he's going to produce numbers. They've spent money on Mamouche, and he's also going to produce numbers. Yeah, I understand. There's still space because there's Doku and there's Oscar Bob, and their positions can be taken, but from the Foden we saw as a PFA Player of the Year and the Foden we saw last season, it looks like such a steep fall that it would take a lot for to impress Guardiola again. It's just my opinion, but I don't know what you think, Sijo.
Well, yeah, you could be right, and I understand that. But when it comes to Pep Guardiola, the amount of money the club paid to sign him means nothing. So Mamouche could be a bench warmer this season. He doesn't care really. Who else? Look, they could sign you for what amount of money, but Ryan Shaky could come in and be a big part player for Pep Guardiola. Because what Pep Guardiola wants, nobody really understands until his team shapes up. I think Foden was very unlucky last season. He suffered from a lot of injuries, so he couldn't replicate any consistency in terms of game rhythm, game time, and form. And that also coincided with the lack of poor form from City throughout the entire season. Now, this season, if Foden can stay fit, I think that their positions are for grabs. I think Foden is more assured on the ball and some of the things he does, depending upon how Pep wants to play, than maybe Semenyo or Doku. Semenyo and Doku provide something else. They'll stretch the line, they can run it behind, they can take on players, but Foden will keep the ball a lot more. He can play in tighter spaces. He can score if he has to. He can assist even better. So I think Foden has still got a chance in the team. It all depends on how the coach wants to play. And also very largely, and if he wants players who are going to be assured on the ball, or he wants players who take more risk. If he wants assurance on the ball in wide areas, Phil Foden is his go-to man. But if he wants players who are taking on players and taking the more risk, Savio, Oscar Bob, Jeremy Doku are his men. So let's find out how Pep wants to play this, and then we know if Phil Foden can be as impactful as he was 2 years ago.
Okay, Ajo, you weren't with us last week when we were trying to, predict what the season is going to look like. I think I may have seen your predictions online, but confirm to us where you think everybody's going to finish, at least the top 6.
Oh, crazy. Well, okay, so my prediction was a little bit funny and to get action because of where I work. I'm in a YouTube field, so we plan to. Teacher knows already. we plan to do something tricky, so I kind of started from number 2, Chelsea, number 3, Arsenal, number 4, City, number 5, Spurs, number 6, Newcastle. I left the number 1 position for Liverpool or United, just for people to, us to drag it.
Liverpool or Man United?
Come on.
Liverpool or Manchester United?
Come on, bro. We did that just to get traction on.
Okay, so realistically though,
yes, want to talk business.
Give me your top 6.
I feel like let's be honest, for the first time, it's kind of difficult to predict who's going to win.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Look at Arsenal today.
Yeah,
got the job done.
Yeah,
from set piece. But are you okay with their play? If they meet
I feel Gyökeres has come to solve their goalkeeping problems, but he's not here to solve it immediately, and he's rather going to cause a lot of disruptions in their system for a while.
Of Chelsea Lukaku after the Champions League win.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It happens. Yeah, yes. It does happen.
I'm scared for Arsenal with that. That is why Mikel will say he wanted Sesko, a ball playing number 9, to come in and do the job for him. That kind of profile. So for me, even Arsenal, there's a small question mark there. Now, if you go to Liverpool alone, now this coach wants to transition something different. How he won the league last season, he wants to do something different this time. Now he has gone in for 2 full flying fullbacks in Kekes and Frimpong. And he's not having a cutter in the middle of the field where if he evolves these players to the higher up the line, the can sit and do a job for them. Gravenberch can do that again, but can he repeat what he did last season? We don't know.
Yeah.
Man City, we don't know what to expect from them in terms of like playing without De Bruyne. And depending on other
And Rodri for some
yeah,
time. Yeah.
Chelsea, youngsters, they're not consistent. Like who again? Spurs, we can't expect anything from them. So for the first time, it's very, very open. But if Mikel doesn't win the EPL, he has to be sacked.
I think it's a last chance saloon for Mikel.
Yeah. He has to. So
It's
I'll tip
yeah.
Liverpool because of the depth they have. If they add Isak to this Arsenal they have, but for me, Liverpool first, Chelsea second, Arsenal third, City fourth, Newcastle fifth, and Spurs sixth.
Chelsea
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
We're near Dio.
We'll try. We have
Sicho,
the
Sicho says Chelsea will not even make the top four, so we wait
okay.
to see if that's going to happen. But I mean, he's a Man United fan who hates Chelsea with a heart. But
I don't.
but but but
I gave you a reason. I gave you a reason. That's fine.
but he somehow was able to put Man United in the top four.
Yeah,
They have to
Anyway,
be there. They have to be there from
and
15.
he has his reasons for why Man United will be in the
I
top four.
gave.
I think I
Go
saw him
back.
beat Man United
People
against
should go to
Arsenal.
last week's. People should go to last week's show. Go and editor, drop the link from last week's show. Let people just go and listen to the reasons why I gave. The reasons I gave for why Chelsea will finish outside top four and why United will be in top four. Go to last week's
My
show.
City, so you see, with regards to my biggest problem with United is Amorim. He's slowly getting what he wants to do right, but the EPL won't wait for you. The more you are getting it right, step by step, the more you are drawing or losing.
Sicho's argument is that Man United have one game a week. And that is like the biggest factor for Manchester United because when every other team is suffering,
Okay.
and even for Chelsea, even though they have a big squad, they cannot alternate, their teams between Champions League and Premier League. And so while the players are getting tired for the other teams, Man United will be resting about 5 or 6 days every single. But my case for that would be then the likes of Brighton and Crystal Palace should win the Premier League because they don't play Premier, they
And
don't
they
play
have
any European football.
They don't have the quality.
Anyway,
They don't have the quality and pedigree.
Anyway. It's a good point.
Well,
Though. It's a
pedigree, yes, but quality, I doubt because the
No.
Man United squad is not better. It's not better than Aston Villa or Newcastle.
great.
So-
Chelsea has depth now.
I don't think you do. I don't think
Arsenal
Chelsea
does.
does.
We don't have the experience. We don't have that.
Chelsea has the depth, but does not have the star quality that you probably
Like how
would.
to manage, and the defense
Wait,
too is the
let
problem.
me ask you a question. When
Right.
you're going to a Champions League game and say you're playing against when you're going to a Champions League game and you've got a Premier League game, right? And there's a big Champions League game come. Will you be confident that the manager drops Caicedo and Enzo and plays
No, he will
Lavia
not.
and Andre Santos? No, hang on. And
No,
plays
he will not.
Lavia and Andre Santos. Are you confident
No.
that? Are you confident
But let me answer you there. First of all, you across a 9-month season, it's not possible to have continuous every weekend big Champions League, big Premier League. So what's going to happen is that players like Enzo and Caicedo and Palmer and João Pedro and the key players, Kukureya, have to understand that they were built. You can't be a footballer if you can't play every 3 days. You can't be at that level if you can't play every 3 days. But there are going to be games in the Champions League when you are playing against a team in Austria that you can play Andre Santos and play Lavia and play Estevao and play whoever and still be able to get a result. But there are going to be about 5 weeks out of the 9 months where you are playing one big team in the Premier League, another big team in the Champions League. And if these players are not ready for that, then they don't have any right to be top footballers at this level.
And I don't think they're ready.
You cannot be playing for Chelsea and say that you can only play once a week. It was only something he experimented last season that worked because Chelsea were in a situation and he was able to leverage that situation. But once he gets into the Champions League, the key players in the team know they must play every 3 days, and they will.
You have Man U on a Sunday, and you have let's say Barca on a Wednesday. Most definitely, Palmer and Co have to play those 2 games.
They will play the 2 games, and they cannot tell us at their time. Then you have no right to be a Chelsea player.
In comes the problem then. Because if you saw Liverpool last season, one of the reasons why Liverpool didn't beat PSG is not necessarily because PSG were by far better. Liverpool looked tired, especially in the second leg, because the manager didn't have an option than to win that weekend game. He played the same team, almost the same team that he played in France, in Paris. Played them in the Premier League and went on to play them again at Anfield. Now that's what I'm saying. That Liverpool were lucky to have stretched the league at the time. But if the manager was going to rest on key players in that Premier League game, he could as well have ended it in a draw, and maybe something gives. So for me, I'm saying Man United have got an advantage. All you need to do,
Right.
and let's face it, Man United have got some very good players now. What is left is coaching. If the coach can get it right, United should be able to
Yeah.
win some very good number of games in the Premier League. And if they're able to do that consistently, then the teams who are playing in other big competitions now have got the midweek to think about and the weekend to think about. And United won't be in that position. So let's see how it unfolds.
Okay. All right, all right. We'll see. We'll see. We're not wasting too much time on Chelsea and Manchester United, but as it is, we do know, that the season is going to be shaping up in the coming weeks. We also know that there are going to be international breaks that are going to be, interrupting the flow. But we'll be here for all the takes and how everything unfolds. Let's go straight to La Liga, and we'll spend just a little bit of time there because Barcelona started their season emphatically, against Real Mallorca, and it was Mallorca. Watching that game, I really didn't know what game plan Mallorca came into that game with because they were very physical and they had a lot of silly challenges in them. And one of the most controversial moments was when a foul happened and the referee hadn't blown his whistle, and Mallorca stopped playing and Barcelona continued to play. And professionally, until you hear the whistle, you keep playing. But generally, Barcelona have just started where they left off, and that should be scary for everybody else. Sicho, I'll start with you.
Yeah. Look, Barcelona were lucky not to go on and maybe then compete at least in the final of the Champions League. Very little margins in the game against Inter Milan. Some say it's inexperience. Some say it is hard luck. However you call it, they were unlucky or they were unfortunate not to reach the final. They still got quality. And the core of the team that went all the way last season to win the treble domestically are still here. They are still very young and they can only get better. They've added a player like Marcus Rashford who can also get better under the profile of coach like Hansi Flick. So they look good. Of course, when the league champions are starting their league against Mallorca, you want them to make a statement right at the start. And the Barcelona will be careful as well because there was a period in last season where they dropped so many points that Real Madrid overtook them. Fortunately for them, Real Madrid also lost their way a little bit. Then Barcelona overtook them again. They will be careful not to be making those mistakes this season. They want to be very consistent because you can't always bet that when Real Madrid overtake you, they will also have the slump they had last season for you to overtake them. So yeah, I think that's a good start, positive start. Hansi Flick will be happy with his team. Some important players are off the mark. So you'd want a player like Rafinha to be off the mark so that he has the confidence to go again. You want your star boy Lamine Yamal to be off the mark so they have the confidence to go again. And that in itself, it's important in how Barca have started their season.
Yeah. Also, when you look at the Barca team, especially in attack, they have Yamal, they have Rafinha, they have Lewandowski, and we also saw Ferran Torres score yesterday. Yeah. And I think he scored an odd 20 goals last season. For a deputy striker, that is good quality. Now comes Rashford. How are they able to fit all of these together, especially knowing that, I know obviously it's going to be a long season, everybody's going to have minutes, but what kind of attack are we to expect from Hansi Flick and Barcelona?
I think Rashford gives them a plan B, because if you look at the approach Flick uses in this Barca team, you have Baldi, who said this forward and becomes a left winger, and Rafinha invests, becomes a number 10, joined by one of the approaching number 8. That's either Pedro, sometimes De Jong. So he plays like a double 10, whilst Baldi has overlap. But Rashford can play as a left winger and also a number 9. So he serves them with different opinion system in the sense that when there's no Lewandowski or there's no Ferran Torres, he can play as a number 9. And also when you want to play Rafinha as a typical number 10, you can use Rashford as a left winger. So maybe he will be the plan B of the coach. In the sense that, okay, now Rashford, you can play as a left winger with that I'll overlap Baldi. So that I'll create I'll double up there for me. I'll create overloads here, then we can get our spaces in the middle. So Rashford coming in helps them a lot. But he has to help himself first. If you don't give numbers, go on assist. You won't be starting or even coming from the bench.
But regardless the number of goals or assists he gives, the other guys are not going to stop giving their numbers to
you see, and those Barcelona kids, they are so dangerous. They don't care about you coming from England. They want to give their numbers.
Yeah.
This guy called Fabio Lopez. He gets 5 minutes chance. He score or give an assist. He won't drop the chance. So Rashford, I was watching his interview with the legendary Barca England legend. What's his name?
Gary Lineker.
Yeah. And he was saying that he loves to give assists than than score goals. I was like, no, at Barcelona, you have to do both.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I feel.
I think it's just a cushion he's just hiding under, because Rashford has always been about goals. It's the first time hearing him say that he prefers assists to the goals.
I was so surprised. But I see,
Yeah.
Henry, let's look at the defense of Barca. That's where my little problem is. It has become unbalanced ever since Nigo joined the Saudis. And it's
Right.
very, very scary because if you look at Araujo, a very aggressive defender, but on the ball, very, very questionable. And the chemistry Kubasi and Nigo had, it was so crazy. You would think Kubasi is like, let's say, 25 years old.
Right.
But we're not giving the credit to Inigo Martinez because he has no aesthetic, he has no PL. You all say, okay, Kubasi is good, Kubasi is good. Now, I'm scared for Kubasi because I don't know how Araujo is going to help this guy. And it will take more like 10 games, 15 games going before they will get that connection going, that natural connection going. But I like what Araujo was doing yesterday. He was very aggressive and left all the sweeping for Kubasi to do. That means he's smart as an experienced defender. But on the ball, can he help Barca? The high line, can he be smart enough to read the high line and keep the high line in check for this coach? When Araujo wants to be Araujo, he becomes like a nuisance. He becomes so annoying.
Right.
Useless red cards and
He
stuff.
frustrates the Barca fans a lot.
So, if you pair Kubasi and Christensen, that's the same profile, which is dangerous for a high line.
Right.
So,
Sicho,
yeah.
Sicho, let me bring Sicho into the conversation quickly so we're able to move on. Between Barca and Real Madrid, what kind of season are we to expect in La Liga, and who do you think wins the La Liga?
Well, look, I still think Barcelona are favorites. And Alonso has come to pick a team. It's new to him. He still has to find a way of fitting them together and find a good balance in the team. There's a lot of work to be done on this Real Madrid superstars. It's not going to be an easy work. Hansi Flick only has to improve what he has already started. But it's Real Madrid. They just know how to get their way around, titles, championships, cups, and what have you. So you don't write them off. But I strongly fancy Hansi Flick's Barcelona. It's the same team, virtually the same team. He's looking to improve it, make a few tweaks here and there. And it's up to Madrid now to chase Barcelona for the title because they are the defending champions. So we'll see if they can catch up with Barcelona. But I think Barcelona have got what it takes to go on and retain their title.
Yeah. With
Right.
the amount, everything is possible. That stubborn boy. Very, very, very.
Right.
You saw the third goal. Charlie, this guy.
Yeah, man.
Let's move on. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. So let's now look straight. So after this, then, I just want us to go straight into our quiz. Ajo, you've never been on this show, and for the quiz, what I do is what I do with Jonathan Mensah and with Sicho is that I start mentioning clubs, and what you need to do is to guess the player that has played for these clubs.
Okay.
It's called Player Zigzag. You can see Sicho exercising for you. So usually we'll do three players. The person to mention the player, guess the player first correctly, wins for that round.
Okay.
First to two wins. Best of three. So we are going straight to the first player. Guys, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This player started his career at Cannes in France. And then he moved from there to AC Milan. From AC Milan, he joined Arsenal. And then from Arsenal, he joined Juventus. Sorry?
Vieira.
Patrick Vieira is correct. Sito.
You're there?
Wait. Sito is off. Yeah. Sito is going to say that his network is the reason.
No, it don't be excuse.
Patrick Vieira is correct.
Wait. Have you done a quiz? I went to
Yes. I told you. I told you, Sito will tell us that the network is the problem. I told you.
No. I don't know what you were mentioning, sir. I went off completely. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. No problem.
But Harry, I was too fast to answer. So, man, quick.
Charlie, I just mentioned it within 2 minutes. Oh.
I said I went off. I didn't even hear anything. I didn't even know the player.
Okay,
I like
okay,
this
hold on.
one.
Okay, hold on. We'll definitely find
Let's go.
the next
Let's do it.
the next players for you guys. So this guy started his career with Real Madrid C, and then he moved to Real Madrid B, and then he moved to Real Madrid, and then he went to Schalke, and then
Gonzalez.
Oh.
Raul
Raul
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez is correct. Raul Gonzalez is correct.
Wow.
Raul Gonzalez is correct. So that is 1 point then for Situ.
Wow. Hey, teach you how one.
No, yeah, 1-1. I know vex.
No, it's 1-0. I have to be fair.
Let your go. Oh, Charlie.
I have to be fair. So we are moving on straight to the next guy. We're moving to the next guy. Anyway, this guy started his football with Le Mans, and then he went to Guingamp, and then he played for Marseille, and then he played for Chelsea, and then he played for Shanghai Shenhua.
Drogba.
Maluda.
Drogba. Didier Drogba.
Maluda.
No, it's Didier Drogba. It's not Maluda.
Didier
It's
Drogba.
Didier Drogba.
Didier Drogba.
Didier Drogba.
Didier Drogba.
It is Didier Drogba. So what it means is Situ has won. But I'm still going to add the third one just for the sake of
Bonus.
asking.
All right.
Maybe it's going to help everybody.
Didier Drogba.
All right, so this guy started his career at União João, and then he went to Atletico Mineiro, then to Palmeiras, then to Inter Milan, to Real Madrid, and then he played for Fenerbahce,
No.
and then he played for
Real Madrid.
Corinthians, and then he played for Anji Makashkala before finishing his career at Delhi Dynamos.
Julio Baptista.
Nope. Atletico Mineiro, Palmeiras, Inter Milan,
Adriano.
Real Madrid. Sorry? Yeah, Adriano didn't play Real Madrid. Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Fenerbahce, Corinthians,
Inter Milan, Real Madrid,
Anji Makashkala, and Delhi Dynamos.
Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Fenerbahce. Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Fenerbahce.
I'm giving you just 30 seconds. If you can't find it, I'll have to skip it. Oh, I just started really well. I just started so well.
No, Batista.
Batista no.
A very famous player. A very famous player. Everybody knows him. Extremely famous.
Ambiaso?
No. You see, I mentioned I mentioned San João and Atletico Mineiro and Corinthians, so he's Brazilian.
Yeah, Brazilian, yeah. Wait. Marcelo.
Who is that? Not Marcelo. Marcelo didn't play for Inter Milan, did he?
Yeah, yes, he didn't play for him. Wait. Inter Milan. No, wait. Rather. Inter Milan.
Famous player.
Yeah, very
Time is up. Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos. You know?
Roberto Carlos.
Carlos of Inter was never a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, at Inter Milan, he played only 30 games. He played only one season at Inter Milan, and then he moved straight to Real Madrid, and that's when he made his name. Anyway, thank you very much, Ajo. Thank you very much, Sicho, for making this
Thank you, guys.
possible. And
Welcome.
thank you, technical producers.
Next
Same
time,
time.
I'm very, very early.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, Joe will join us earlier so we can have
Good.
a more wholesome conversation. Thank you very much, and same time next week, right here on FC Pitchside Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or taking a listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thank you very much, and please leave a rating and subscribe to our channels. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series. Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series.